Oh, I just did the whole thing without recording. Yo, today I'm gonna show you how to do the easiest and smoothest zoom transition inside of After Effects super quickly. It's a pretty cool transition, but the good thing is any skill level can learn it. It's that easy. So no more talk, let's get straight into it. Alright, cool. So as you can see, we've got two different clips we're gonna be working with. The first thing we need to do is drag this clip underneath just so we can get everything prepared. And now the first part of it is to roto brush out your layer that you're going to be zooming through. So in my case, I'm going to be zooming through this window right here, okay? So I'm just going to make a rough kind of layout around it and then just go through and make sure it all looks okay before I freeze anything. So to me, that's all good. I'm happy with that. But before I press freeze, there's one thing I do, which is Control D to make another copy of it and then make sure to tick invert background. This will make sure we have both an inverted and a non-inverted layer so we can make that zoom through transition. So now go ahead and freeze both of those layers and then we'll get back to the next step. So one's done. Now I'm going to double click on the top one and just press freeze again. So now you can hide the bottom layer and you can see we've got a little gap in that window where we can start the zoom transition. The first thing I'm going to do though is go on the top layer and just make the feather a bit more, just to kind of smoothen out those edges. Don't worry about all these little corner bits or whatever it may be, because first off, I'm using a 1080p clip, so it's not the highest quality, and second off, it's going to be moving quite quick, you won't even notice. So I'd advise spending a little bit more time than I did, just making your roto brush a bit better. Alright, cool. So now we're ready for the zoom effect. The first thing I'm going to do is highlight all of these and press motion blur and also make it a 3D layer by ticking these two boxes right here. And the next thing I'm going to do is press right click, new, and then camera. You can choose whatever settings you want, but to me this looks like a 16mm view. So I'm just going to go with a focal length of 16mm. Now here's one thing I recommend doing. Hide the bottom layer as well, so you've just got a black layer behind here or a transparent depending on what you're working with. Then you're going to go into the camera settings, drop down into transform and keyframe two things. You're going to keyframe point of interest and then position as well. Then go a little bit more forward. We'll adjust the timing later on, don't worry about that. But just go and just make sure you're zooming through the entire thing, just like this, until you can't see it anymore. That's the main thing. And now you can see we've got the initial transition, but we need to neaten it up and actually re-enable our previous clip and make sure it looks proper. But once you re-enable your bottom clip, you'll see it doesn't exactly look right, does it? It's not zooming into anything right now. So now I'm going to show you the quickest and the most optimal way that I found to do camera setups inside of After Effects. First thing I'll do is go into the one view and set it to two views, and then put the right hand view to custom view 1, just like this. So now you're going to go onto your bottom clip which you're transitioning into, and then use this third layer right here. This is the Z value layer, and now you can see why that custom layer is important, because you can see how far away it is from the other clip. I'm going to roughly move it to around, let's say 650, right? Because the higher the Z value, the further away it is from the camera. And you can see it's starting to develop a bit better now. Now go to the end and make sure you can just readjust everything. We can play with the scale a bit later. Don't worry about that. Just make sure everything's kind of centered, and then we're ready to go on the next step. So now you can switch back to one view just to go see your comp once again. And now you can see this is what we've got. It's not very smooth. Some people will just tell you to leave it like that, but not on this channel. I'm going to show you all the secrets. So let's get straight into the next step. I'm going to extend this a little bit, highlight both of these and press F9. Then I'm going to go into this little button right here, which is the graph editor. And this is what you should have. Then you can copy the exact same graph as me if you'd like. Highlight the right side and just hold shift and then left click and drag just like this, until you have something similar to that. So if you're new to graph editors in general, the easiest way to explain it is the higher the peak is, the faster it's going at that point in time. So you can see it really speeds up here and then it smoothly slows down. And that's the effect we're going for. You can see that already looks much better, but there's still a bit more things we do need to do. I'm just messing around with the keyframes, shortening them, extending them, just until I find a nice balance I like. So after your camera animation is sorted, you can see there's still some little gaps. Everything doesn't look amazing right now. So let's move and make a little bounce effect on the original clip itself at the bottom. You're going to press S, just like this, on the bottom clip until the scale menu opens, and then just keyframe the 100% near the end of the clip. Then you're going to go a bit further back in your clip until you can see all of like the gaps and everything. Then just up the scale just like this. Now keep in mind, it doesn't have to be 100%. It could be whatever you want as long as it kind of fits the frame, right? But yeah, my previous value is 145 if you want to copy it, but more than likely yours is going to be a bit different to me. And now you can see after we've changed the scale to like 145 over here, all of those previous gaps we had before have been covered. It's a nice quick and easy solution as we're going for the easiest zoom transition here. So you can either do it this way or use motion tile. The good thing about this method is it creates a nice little bounce back, a little bit of momentum as well. So let's move on to the next step. You're going to highlight both of these and press F9 once again. Then you're going to move roughly to where the animation of the zoom stops. Then go into the graph editor. So I'm going to make this bigger real quick. You can see the biggest point is right where my playhead is sitting, and that's what we want. And this is how it looks. It looks pretty sick, but that little zoom out at the end is a bit harsh for me. So what I'm going to do is drag this along roughly to the right, then put my playhead where the camera animation of the zoom stops once again. Then, if you guess right, we're going to be going back into the graph editor and then making the sharp point right where my playhead is. Just like that. And after we've done that little bounce, this is how it looks. I feel it adds a bit of momentum this way rather than just using plain old motion tile. So I'm happy with the camera animation and the actual bounce effect itself. However, you can see there's a very harsh cut here and we haven't used this clip entirely. So let's move on to that now. Also, if you do like these sort of transitions like the one today, hear me out, I think you're going to like this. The Dynamic Duo bundle has more than 50 different assets in there, plus a few cool extras, and it's currently on sale. So the first thing you're going to do is import the Dynamic Duo bundle folder into any software of your choice. And you can see you are indeed spoiled for choice, man. Jeez. But you know what? I'm just going to go with any single one of them and just simply drag and drop it in and see how it looks. And the great thing is it's literally one click. Not like those packs that say it's one click, but you still got to adjust it. No. In this one, you just drag and drop it on and you're already done. You see, just kind of adjust it slightly and you can see this is how it looks. Boom. Not too bad at all. But obviously, if you feel that's a bit too long, it's not too deep, all you can do is just quickly just chop this down and bring it closer together. It's not really that deep at all. And after that, this is what we've got. You see, I'm just scrolling through all of them now, just seeing which one I want to use, because there's so many good ones, I don't know which one to use this time. Let's go with the mashup of the whippers, which is like cars in a UK slang term, basically. I'll just slap that on here, and then just in one click, this is what we've got. Not too bad at all. The pack itself, as you can see, has over 50 different versions for you to choose from. That way it doesn't get boring because you can actually mix and match them together and make some crazy transitions like the one I'm showing you right now. Right now you can grab the whole bundle and save nearly $50. But unfortunately not for long, because the new update is going to be coming out soon and the price will be going up. So if you'd like, go check it out at the top link in the description or head over to onthecam.com. Thank you a lot for supporting, and let's get back to the tutorial. So the first thing I'm going to do is re-enable that one we hid earlier, and you can see now everything is back to the original clip. But once we kind of zoom in a bit, we've now got nothing, right? Which is normal, don't worry about that. So now highlight the middle clip and you can see that's the original rotoscope layer. Just press P and then keyframe position, right? Move this a bit to the left just so you can see what you're doing, and then just drag this out of the frame to the left. So hopefully you're not having any issues and that's kind of transitioning perfect and staying underneath. However, if you're experiencing this right here where it's not going underneath the clip like it should, there's two reasons for that. The first potential cause is having the layers in the wrong place. So if you just drag this one layer below, underneath the inverted clip, it should fix itself. However, if that's not the case, all you need to do is go onto the Z value and simply drag it a bit forward. Maybe like a value of 10 or 5 or something like that, and you can see it does the exact same thing. So that's how you fix that error if you're dealing with that. But in my case, I'm perfectly fine. I don't need to do any of that. So I'm just going to move this along just like this. Thank God it auto saved as well. I hate how much After Effects crashes these days. Then I'm going to highlight both and press F9 again, and then move it somewhere in the middle of the camera animation. And after a few more tweaks, this is what we've got. That, guys, is the easiest zoom effect you can do in my style. Yo, that's another video done. Hope you lot enjoyed it. More importantly, I hope you learned something. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you lot in the next video. Love.